promote what we call it Islam Wasatiyah, moderate understanding of Islam. Friday morning, we run together to Borobudur Temple and to chase Westerner tourism, to train my English. So wherever there was English tourists, we approach them. Then, excuse me, sir, what is your name? Where you come from? I'm going to study in Australia. Why you study in Australia? Usually Muslims study Egypt or Saudi Arabia, and more surprisingly when I said to them that I'm going to study anthropology. What the hell is anthropology for them? So no one in my village and my community have ever been to overseas, even though some of them have already went to Hajj, but going Hajj has never been considered as going overseas.
It's but that's bigger than going to Australia.
yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Prof. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really great to have such a distinguished scholar with us today. So, a brief introduction before we start our conversation. You have gotten your master's and doctoral degrees in anthropology, from the Australian National University, and have also had numerous leadership roles throughout your work here in Jakarta, and you're currently the rector here at UIII.
Yes.
Yeah. This is you're starting your second year as rector.
Yeah. So this is my new role as a rector at the Indonesian International Islamic University. This has been a pleasure for me to be a leader at this university, because this university has a very noble mission and vision. One of them is to upgrade the Indonesian academic to be internationally recognized. And we are very pleased that the Indonesian government established this university as the state Islamic university and international character, so that this university can bring our academics to be recognized internationally. Secondly, this university is also important and have a very respectful vision, is that to promote what we call it Islam Wasatiyah, moderate understanding of Islam, or middle path of understanding of Islam. Because for a long time that although Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in terms of number, but in terms of academic was still not recognized really very much in terms of academic and also intellectually. So by establishing this university, we are hoping that Indonesia can be an alternative destination for Muslims to study Islam and also society in Indonesia.
So, Prof, before talking more about his university, like Ali has said,
Yes.
you were graduated from Australia, but many people recognize you as someone who graduated from, left with so-called Western universities.
You're right.
But I think not though overseas. Usually that you were actually graduated from Indonesian school system and tradition,
Yes.
particularly Pesantren. Could you tell us about your background?
I'm very lucky that I got a very rich educational background. My elementary school was in Muhammadiyah Islamic school in my village in Klaten. So I was taught about the teaching of Muhammadiyah in my elementary school. Then my parents sent me to modern pesantren, Pondok Pabelan in Muntilan, Magelang. Pondok Pesantren Pabelan is a modern pesantren because the system of education in the Pesantren Pabelan followed the modern pesantren of Gontor Ponorogo. In Indonesia, there are many kinds of pesantren. Yeah. Some of them pesantren under the leadership of Nahdlatul Ulama, the largest Islamic organization in Indonesia, which mostly studying the classical textbook and also retaining how to maintain a good harmonious relationship between Islam and local culture. And there are a small number of pesantren under Muhammadiyah organization, and others pesantren affiliated with Gontor Ponorogo. This Gontor Ponorogo is a new pesantren that create a different system trying to combine between science and religion. So my pesantren, my kiai was graduated from Gontor. That's why pesantren followed the system of Pondok Gontor Ponorogo. So I learned there, and it was to my surprise that in pesantren, usually in some of Indonesian mind, that you are studying only Arabic and Islamic knowledge. But in this pesantren, the first time I learned my English. So I remember that there were volunteers from our neighboring countries like Australia and also America to send their volunteers, teachers volunteers, to teach English in my pesantren. So I learned English from them. Besides that, because my pesantren was very close to Borobudur, I used to run from my pesantren to Borobudur. It's about 9 kilometers from my pesantren. Yeah, every Friday morning, we run together to this Borobudur temple and to chase Westerner tourists, to train my English. So wherever there was English tourists, we approach them then. Just me, sir, what is your name? Where you come from? That's why I learned English.
Making conversation.
Making conversation. So we brought the book and then learn some dictionaries and also preparing some question so that we can have conversation.
I think you were raised at a time when Indonesia was trying to modernize. Indonesian Muslims was trying to modernize its approach to science, right? And I still remember as well at my boarding school when I was there, they also teach us about English as a subject, and it was really serious. But I think you also mentioned that you touched the issue on how UIII, Islamic State University,
Islamic.
You were there before, and they were trying to modernize the way which they approach scientific knowledge. What do you reflect on your background or your experience and your own understanding of your research in the current situation?
Yes, let me continue my experience in Pondok Pesantren because that shaped clearly my understanding of Islam and also interfaith relation in the future. So when I was in my Pondok Pesantren Pabelan, as I mentioned that we are very close to Borobudur Temple, which is the largest Buddhist temple in the world, and also very close to my pesantren also Candi Mendut, where the ritual of Waisak, the celebration of Buddha, also celebrated in that temple. We experience how to see and live with different faith in my pesantren. And occasionally my kiai invited priests and also non-Muslim to come to teach to my pesantren. We are accustomed to see and to mingle with different faiths in my pesantren, which is quite progressive in that time because it's a Muslim compound. We are studying Islamic doctrine, values, but at the same time we are talking and we are discussing with somebody from different faith. And in your early childhood, so it shaped a lot of our experience. From that, when I graduated from pesantren, so our broad mind of Indonesia and of also diversity that Indonesia consists of multi-ethnic, multi-religious belief is already in our mind. That's why some of us went to Jakarta to study at State Islamic University Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, where some famous thinkers and intellectuals such as Professor Harun Nasution, that time was the rector of the State Islamic University there, and also prominent late Nurholis Majid and Professor Azra and so on like that, the biggest intellectual, also thinkers, modern thinkers, studying and teachers at that university. So I studied at that Islamic university with very open-minded. Yeah.
Studying in Indonesia and then you move overseas.
Yeah.
Not only exposed to the different culture, but also interacted with different systems.
That's right.
Yeah. What did you learn from that, and then what shaped you?
Well, you can imagine as a rural student and never travel overseas, even never travel in Indonesia.
How old were you back then?
Probably 24 at that time. Yeah, 25. Yeah. So
it was your first time.
Yeah, first time. So never in an airplane before. So
a lot of new experiences at one time.
Right, so it's a lifetime experience. And then you have to convince your families with a Muslim background that I'm going to study in Australia. Why you study in Australia? Usually Muslims study Egypt or Saudi Arabia. no need explanation for that. But to go to Australia, you need to explain why you go to Australia. And more surprisingly, when I said to them that I'm going to study anthropology,
Yeah.
what the hell is anthropology for them? So yes, it's a shocking experience for me, but also for the whole community at that time. And you can imagine, probably no one in my village and my community have ever been to overseas. Even though some of them have already went to Hajj, but going Hajj has never been considered as going overseas. It's
But
like,
that's bigger than going to Australia.
yeah. It's far away. And but because Hajj is ritual, Muslim ritual, so you consider it as like obligation, is normal thing that to do. But going to other countries studying is
This is a choice.
yeah. So so went there, and I'm lucky that my supervisor is very good, and he did a lot of research in Indonesia. Used to be his expertise on Kupang, East Nusa Tenggara there, but he also worked for a long time in Java for economic development in rural areas. So he knows the background of rural santri going to overseas, very shocking. So he picked me up from the airport, and then he took me to the city in Canberra. So I was surprised when my supervisor told me that this is the capital city of Australia. Really? This is the capital city of Australia?
This was really quiet back then.
We're just quiet. And because I arrived on Sunday, and like
Extremely quiet.
5 o'clock, back then, Canberra is so quiet. So really, this is the capital city of Australia, and it's not larger than my village in Klaten. But
Yes,
that's
it was very progressive knowing that your kiai, your basically the winner of the pesantren, was letting people from different faith to teach at the pesantren. I still remember back even in 1990s, it was still something a pinnacle did it. But again, knowing that was part of your background, that you moved to Australia and you were exposed to something extremely different. Just reflecting to my own experience, I still remember as well, I think when I arrived in Melbourne back in 2012, I learned that actually Australians, to some extent, is more Islamic than Indonesians. Did you experience the same thing? Like I think that they actually did really well, right, doing what Islam taught.
As I mentioned, that a professor picked me up in the airport is quite surprising for me. Who am I? Then my supervisor, that I know that he is the head of department in the anthropology that time, picked me up at the airport, and like wearing very casual, and also pick up with his own car, and then took me around to the cities. A shocking experience. I don't know if that happened in Indonesia. Such a prominent figures would pick you up, somebody from different way, from far away, and you never met him. Long time ago, used to be, I have to go by train from Sydney to Canberra, early January 1993. So I went to Canberra from Sydney by train. So I don't know how to go to train, and that was, I bring a big suitcase. If you look my size, and I brought a big suitcase, it's very hard to go up to the stairs of Sydney train, if you remember. I don't know, it's already totally different already now, but used to be in my time. The Sydney train is very stiff and very high. So I don't know how to bring a suitcase because, and I don't know how to find the lift for that. It's difficult, but somebody approached me and came to me. Can I help you? Because I saw you that you are struggling to bring your suitcase. As a student coming from Indonesia, when you arrive in terminal, in airport, and coming somebody to help bring your case, meaning that they will charge you.
Oh, yeah.
So in Sydney, my automatic thinker is, how much money they will charge me to bring this case in dollars anymore. So, and I don't bring much money that time. So I said, no, thank you. I can handle myself. Okay. So the person went up and then wait for me in the top of the stairs, seeing my reaction. And of course, it's difficult. It's hard to bring my suitcase. Then he went down again. I know your background. I've been to Southeast Asia and I experienced that. So I guarantee you, I'll help you and it's free. I'll bring your suitcase. So we were waiting my answer. He took my suitcase and then took me upstairs. And then he asked me, where do you want to go? I want to go to Canberra to study at ANU. Oh, you are lucky. ANU is one of the best universities in Australia. So he took me to the train and said that this is your train and probably you can find inside the seat for you, but good luck for your study in ANU. When I'm sitting in my train, shocking, it's coming from rural areas with, sometimes our teachers probably give wrong information about others. And you see this, you don't know his name, you don't know his background, we never met, but it's very good and very helpful. So I just sit down and that's, now I have to start a new life and then bring me a new perspective on differences.
Yeah, maybe I want to share my experience. Probably it's pretty short, but when I was on a train in Melbourne, I still remember that, normally there is a traffic light, right?
Yeah.
Traffic light and green and turn red, and then this is the time for the train to pass.
Yeah.
And then the red turns on for the pedestrians.
Right.
So what happened is that even though there was no cars passing by, the pedestrians still just wait there until the red light changed the green, right? Turn green. And then I was thinking that it's impossible in Indonesia that school could wait that long.
Right.
Even just a few seconds and then or a minute just to wait for the red light turns green. To me that's really interesting because we know in Islam we have the concept of ihsan, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the concept of ihsan, doing something or being something even though we know that, assuming that God saves us and the other way around.
Yeah.
So to me that's really shocking. One of the shocking experiences that told me, oh, this is Islam, the principle. Ihsan is the principle of Islam. So I think that simple thing that shaped us as someone had the opportunity to go overseas to learn Islam from different perspectives.
Sure.
But I think that's pretty.
Yeah. I think you can learn from others actually, and probably you can understanding more your values when you interact with your different values. So that's what happened. My early exposure to different faith in my pesantren with Borobudur, with Mendut, and also with different teachers in my pesantren has different, and also went to Jakarta. It's a big city, and you met different people from different ethnical backgrounds, something like that, and you met very enlightening professors in my university. So just bring you more and more on your brain that something happened for your future. And then you have a experience, another exposure to the world that totally different with you. So that's bring you, and I feel that as your experience told, you can admire, respect your values when you interact with different values. Then you can appreciate what have you already learned before when you encounter with others.
I think for sure, intellectually knowing that people who are different from you have different backgrounds, they would still have those same values. They're still people, right?
Yep.
This is something we intellectually know, but actually seeing it in practice is really what drives it home.
You're right.
You have that understanding that, oh, this person just wants to be kind,
yes,
like all other people. I think that's a really nice moment that you can have when you go abroad, when you meet different people, when you have different experiences. And that's what you said you've had since when you were in pesantren, and then going abroad, throughout your life you've had those moments, and I think that's
so that's why when I graduate from ANU, then I have a dreams how to bring my experience to other Islamic teachers in pesantren to have a similar experience. So I was lucky that I can convince the Embassy of Japan to give scholarship, small trips to 10 kiais or leaders of pesantren to travel to Japan to experience the life of Japanese there. for 10 days.
When
What
was
was
that?
their review? I mean, what was their view on the visit, like the Kiai
Yeah.
leader?
Well,
It's
of course, in the first place, it's shocking. For people in Japan were worried because the program was started in 2004,
Oh, just after.
just after the 9/11, and some happens in Indonesia too.
Yeah,
So
Bali bombing.
yeah, right. And then here come 10 kiais in Japan.
Japan, yeah. Especially in 2004 when Japan
Yep.
wasn't very open. Now
Yes.
there's a lot more.
And
Yeah.
and what they learn and what they understand about Islam is through television and through the information. And you can guess at that time what kind of information you get from the television and from the newspapers. But they were surprised to see that these leaders of pesantren who travel to Japan, similar to them, they are not wearing special clothes. They are wearing batik, suit, something like that, and they behave like
Just normal people.
just normal people like South Asian because we're similar, and they eat rice and then also can interact and so like that. For Japanese people, that changed their mind. It's totally different, totally completely different what has been televised, what's been they read in the newspaper, and the real experience of these people. So I asked the Embassy of Japan to take leaders of pesantren to have a dialogue with different religious leaders in Japan, in temples, something like that, and also to see, the technological advancement of Japan, like the television, the car manufacturers, and so like that. So I asked the Kiai, what is your impression? But Japanese practicing Islam, they are so disciplined. They are in school, they are very clean. Even they have to take off their shoes before entering the school. It's like entering to the mosque and clean.
Respecting college.
Yeah, so discipline and so like that. And they're more surprised to learn that the head of the temple, the Buddhist temple, was graduated from Al-Azhar and studying Islamic theology, Mu'tazil, have you understand? One of the school in theology of Islam. And he eloquently speaking Arabic too.
Right.
So some of the K leaders have a dialogue mixed in Japanese, sometimes in Arabic, and stuff like this. So this also brought their different views. And let alone when they see, the advancement of technology, industry in Japan, and something like that. But Japanese still retain their traditional values. Respecting elders, discipline, very quiet in the train, and also there is no much rubbish in the streets and like that, very clean. Then this Kiai said that now we can learn from Japan that being modern does not mean that we lost our values.
Yeah. Your research were more on democracy, tolerance, radicalism, and I think that's the interesting about globalization. The more we connect with people, it assumes that we know other people that are.
Right,
But from your research,
Yes.
it shows different aspect of globalization as well, in which some aspects of some parts of society they polarize.
All right,
They polarize and then they judge other people
That's
easily.
right.
So what do you learn from that? I mean, at one hand, you see that connections build you understand things each other in positive way, but the other way around, it also had a negative impacts because it followed by something.
I think I believe that diversity is a destiny, a God creation, is given. You cannot change that diversity. How hard you trying to unify it, make one, it's impossible that human can be one. Diversity is there. What we have to do is to realize that diversity is our values and our reality. So the most important thing is to have a respect to others. And that's what I learned from values like democracy, tolerance, others, is to respect differences. You may different between you and others, but as far as you respect each other, then you can live together. Like I always tell these stories to my students. Food, culinary. If you give 1 kilo meat to Padang people, what are going to be? Probably they will cook rendang. But if you give this 1 kilo meat to Maduris, what are going to be? Probably satay or soto. And if you bring this 1 kilo meat to Japanese people, what are going to be? It's probably going to be beef stick and others. And if you give it this meat to Australian, and then will be barbecue or a steak, something like that. The culture behind this person creates that diversity. Probably he learned how to cook rendang, so it's like automatically in your brain that we are giving that meat, then you have to cook this one, and so like this. So that's life for those who never been traveling to Jogja. It's very hard to eat gudeg, isn't it?
I think that is just
It's number one delicacy, you know, like, but then eventually when you accustomed to live there and trying to understand, to respect the culture, probably you can eat all those more, but because it's respect. And so I imagine if that life, that religion also interact like that, it would be a beautiful world that we live.
This, I think, would probably tie back to what you said at the beginning about a moderate Islam, I would say. So I wanted to actually ask more about what you think that means in practice. Because what does like moderate Islam actually mean?
Right. Moderate means that one, that you have to understand that probably other people have other different understanding of yours. The second one is moderate means that you have to understand within Islamic culture itself, within Islamic culture tradition, there are diverse understanding of them. You know. In terms of Islamic jurisprudence, there are some school law. Within theology, there are some differences in how to rationalize the existence of God. In the mysticism, tasawwuf, you also have different kind of type of mysticism. So moderate means that acknowledging that there are diverse understanding. There are probably people will not follow your argument, but follow the others. So I think that's the other. Third one is that because you have to respect differences and you understand that there are other opinions outside your own opinion, then you have to live modesty. You know, you have to interact with others. In order to able to interact with others, then you have to be modest. You have to moderate in your views, something like that. And the fifth one is be moderate. It means that you have to see the maslahah, the patterns of the interaction. Don't go be extreme, because the extreme will create a reaction in another extreme way. And then if you have a moderate and also respect differences, then you can be moderate. So in this university, in the Indonesian International Islamic University, the subject of Islam Wasatiyah is a compulsory subject for all our students, regardless their religions, regardless their study programs. They have to take this compulsory subject. So they learn diverse tradition of Islam. They learn the beauty of Islam in Indonesia. We have a diverse Islamic organizations like Nahdlatul Ulama, Muhammadiyah, and others. Also have interfaith interaction in our own daily life when we celebrate other religious sacred days.
to me, moderation is something that is pretty easy to say, but it's really difficult to practice because it requires so much knowledge, so much wisdom, and as we understand, like, of being moderate is being balanced. To be able, like in circus, we know that someone walking on the rope, and the person could be really balanced to make sure that she could pass the rope easy. But to be able to do that, it requires so much training, so much days, So I think I don't know what you think on it, because to me, being moderate is something that is not easily to pick. Yes, we need to do the journey first, to do the learning process, and at what point we could be what we call as moderate, like umatan also.
Yes.
So what did
Exactly to say, yeah, exactly. You are true, and you are right that teaching moderate is not only through classes, through textbook, but you have to take them to real experience in your real lives. So I think this university is meant for that, giving a place for other Muslims to experience how life in Indonesia, how Muslims live here with diverse religion and others. Our students coming from Egypt, from Morocco, from Algeria, from other Islamic countries, were surprised to see that we as Muslims celebrate the sacred day of Christian, the sacred day of Buddhists, the sacred day of Hindus, and it's become a national holiday for us. So it's a real experience on that. And one a female student from Egypt told us a story that see that I never travel with a man when I travel outside my home, my house.
In Egypt.
In Egypt. And you have to be accompanied by your families, your mahram. But here in Indonesia, I experienced different things. And I went to a supermarket. I went to my friends with somebody with I don't know the background, either Muslim or Christian or Buddhist.
But she felt safe.
But it's safe, and I arrived safely until now. So it's kind of like a real experience.
I think that's something that we take it for granted.
Yeah.
But actually, when someone overseas coming, and then we realize that, I think that's really special in their perspective, in their experience. I think that's why a few years ago when there was an initiative to build this university, I think it's very good in a way that Indonesia tries to engage with global community and want to tell more about what Islam is actually based on Indonesian historical trajectory, its uniqueness.
Right.
So, but I also knew that you, before joining this, you were at State Islamic University, Saifidat. What is the difference with those universities? Because each city has its own Islamic state.
Right. State Islamic University, Saifidat has no international level on it. But this university has international. I mean, the vision and the mission of this university is completely different. It is meant to be an international university to invite international students to come to Indonesia to study here. So our infrastructure, our curriculum, our teachings are prepared to handle the international students coming from overseas. So the instruction of language is in English and in Arabic, and the teachers also coming from overseas also. There are a number of professors coming from Egypt, from UK, from US, from Australia to teach in our university. So it is designed from the beginning as an international university, and the course and also the degree designed incompatible with international universities already there.
Is it any percentage like for local, for international people? So like probably people overseas want to know more about accreditations.
Well, we wanted at least 50% of our students are internationals. Currently 45%.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
How many students?
Now we have 600 because we are graduate university. So we are only offering masters and PhDs.
Okay.
So half of them, 45% of them coming from international students from 41 countries.
Nice, mashallah.
And this year, we are very happy that around 4,900 applicants want to study in our university.
900 applicants.
4,900 applicants.
Almost 5,000.
Yeah, almost 5,000. And we can only accept 250 of them.
That's pretty competitive.
Yeah, and the application coming from 91 countries.
Mashallah.
What is the most unimaginable?
You can imagine that somebody coming from Brazil, Argentina, applying to our university.
Are they Muslim or?
No, Muslim. Yeah. Also, I forgot the name. Is the small countries in close to the Pacific Island also like to study in our university. So So it is becoming more popular because it is also helped by the Minister of Foreign Affairs through embassies that they are promoting our university that Indonesia open an international Islamic university, and we do have a scholarship for international students to come. So that probably another incentive to come to Indonesia. And another vision of this university is to change our diplomacy from tangan di bawah to tangan di atas. So used to be when Indonesian Muslim would like to study in Egypt, in Yemen, even in Sudan, they got scholarship from
the government of Sudan.
Yeah, from there.
Yemen, yeah. Even though economically they are not.
You're right. We are much better. But so we have to change the diplomacy that upper hand is much better. So we are giving scholarships to international students who like to study in Indonesia.
What kind of support is there for the international students? Obviously, you guys also know how difficult it is to go to a foreign country. So what do you have that can support the students when they arrive?
We are trying to provide them the best service, similar to if you have experience receiving scholarships in Western countries. So we are trying to do the same things. So we do have international office to pick you up in the airport, and also connecting you through emails and communication before you arriving in countries, helping you to get visas, to explain everything before you arrive. So when you arrive, we took them to a dormitory. We provide dormitory for students, and then give them assistance during their early staying in Indonesia, explaining the food, where you go, and something like that. Basic service that we provide them. And during this, we also provide them health insurance and also wellness consultancy, because
like mental health?
Yeah, because for international students, you are far away from your family, you are far away from your communities. Sometimes you feel alone, even though you have a lot of friends, but sometimes you feel alone. So we provide also wellness services for them, so you can share your feeling, you can share your thought on your mental health. Yeah. So that's we provide. Of course, during the course, we also provide writing editors that you can consult to them how to write a good paper, how to write a good thesis in the end. Something
Are the courses in English?
Yes, course in English. And if you take Islamic studies, to have another requirement, Arabic language.
Have you ever thought things that is happening now, years before, figures? Yeah. You said that in 1980s, 1990s, it was just like beyond your imagination that Indonesia would have such capable institution.
Yeah.
And as we know that even the Minister of Foreign Affairs is recently installed new vice minister only for Islamic world.
Yeah, right.
So what do you take on?
Yeah, it's unimaginable, because it's a new initiative eventually that will happen. Because as you mentioned before, that other friendly countries, our friends in Western or in Asia, always questioning what Indonesia rules on Islamic affairs. Even during the Arab Springs, when there was some chaotic political situation, political turbulence in Middle East, and also on the issue of terrorism, radicalism, something like that. Yeah, many questions how and what Indonesia can play on that situation. And I think now we have, although small, we have an answer. We play that role through education. And probably it won't be quick yielding, but in the long run, education will have a fruits in the future. So hopefully that Indonesia can play significant role through this education, providing scholarships, providing a forum for international discussion on issues pertaining Islamic affairs, like Palestine and other issues, or even prolonging conflict in some Muslim countries, so that we can discuss here and then we can find a solution and do research together on Muslim societies.
So what do you think UIII could contribute to
We name it triple I. To make it easy.
Triple IU,
Triple I.
International
I.
Islamic
Indonesian
University.
International.
Oh yeah, triple I.
Yeah.
Triple I to contribute to the global, uh, in the global stage because, as we know that Al Azhar has its own, its own tradition,
Yes.
and then Harvard, Oxford, and whatever universities overseas.
Yes.
So what is the unique selling point of this year? So people would be attracted
Yeah.
to join the.
Right. In Islamic studies or studying Islam, we do have two kind of great narrative, great traditions, studying Islam in Middle East and studying Islam in Western Hemisphere. So studying Islam in Middle East, that most of them studying Islam in a very doctrinal, textual way. Yeah, very dogmatic. So you studying how to deepen your knowledge on Islam and referring again and trying to look very closely the tradition of Islam. So that's what happened in Al Azhar, what happened in Saudi Arabia, what happened in Morocco. On the other hand, the study of Islam in Western Hemisphere is more on analytical and more on methodological, how to understand Islam in a more broad way. So that's why in Western academia, they're studying Islam through the lens of social sciences, through the lens of psychology, through the lens of other knowledge to understand this. And we studied both. So we learn these studies. And we are trying to make another one. That is Indonesia. This is developed in our university.
To moderate those differences.
Yeah. So we are not only studying Islam in a very dogmatic and normative way, and we do not also give analytical tools for our students, but we give the meaning through context. So Indonesia as context as a place for the study. So it is a laboratory for the study. See what happened when Islam plays and what Islam grows in a different social context. So this is what we are trying to do in our university.
So Triple IU has been here for 4 years.
Yes, and one more for the distinction of our university as on Islam Wasatiyah. We are trying to learn and to understand Islam in that path. If you studied in Iran, mostly dominated by Shi'i tradition. If you studied Islam in Egypt, dominated by Sunni tradition. And if you studied in Saudi Arabia, probably dominated by Sunni and Salafi way. If you studied in Morocco, you are limited to studying Islam. We are trying to be open so that all Muslims will come to study. So this is the place that we can discuss. We can have a deliberation in very open and in very comprehensive way, so that we have a moderation in our understanding.
It's been 4 years, 5 years since.
Yeah, it's 4 years.
4 years
Our class start 2021.
during the pandemic.
Yeah, during pandemic.
So you started online or?
Yeah, the first semester is online, but the second semester we are lucky that we get them offline here, because as I mentioned earlier, that teaching pluralism, tolerance, you have to be mingle, experiencing, interacting.
So how many graduates got this university?
We already graduated to cohort in 2023 and 2024. Each of them is about 90. So we have like 180 graduates.
So any like honest reviews from them, like because they are doing master, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the assumption is that they had already previous experience.
Right.
So what is their review on studying here?
Um,
That for you is very interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting to know our alumni. Many of them accepted to continue their study to PhD in very well-known universities in Europe, in America, and Middle East. Yeah. So, meaning that we are already in that in that path. So, on track. So, And they do not have any difficulties studying overseas because what they learn, the methodology and the system that you applied here, compatible with those universities. And some of them hired by their embassies, their foreign minister, somebody graduate from Nepal. This is the first and the only Nepalese studying in Indonesia. You can imagine somebody from Nepal.
Is he Muslim or not?
Yes, he's Muslim. She's Muslim. Yeah, but even though she's Muslim, but somebody from Nepal know about Indonesia, then want to study here. And then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs recruit her. She is still here for her PhD, but she already been contacted by the government. If there is like an issue or information about Indonesia, so they contact her to explain what is happened and something like this. Yeah,
Maybe I need to know her because actually, yeah. Anyway, that's off the topic, but
yeah, right. Yeah, you may talk to her later on. Yeah, yeah. She went back now to Nepal for her research on international migrant workers. Comparing.
Any other thing that they share about their
Experience.
studying here, like from the graduates?
Yep. Many of them also went back to their countries and establishing an NGOs. Interesting.
So she's very creative. You create a generation of creative.
Yeah, right. Because they felt that we have to do something.
It's nice. Change makers.
Yeah, some of them studying on climate change, studying on international politics. You see the democracy, what happened to Muslim countries, why there are differences, something like that. So they're in mind. So we have to do something for our community and especially with the help of our foreign minister, we provide special scholarship to girls from Afghanistan. After Taliban took over the government, women cannot go to school and also even they cannot go to work. Indonesian government provides scholarships to girls to studying in our university. And some of them already dreamt that one day when I back to Afghanistan, I would like to establish a school similar to Indonesia.
Yeah, so before cooking this conversation, do you have anything to say that you think it's really important?
Something we haven't asked you that you want to talk about?
I think you already asked many things. But I think what I would like to say is that for Indonesia, we have to be proud as Indonesian Muslim or as Muslim in Indonesia. We do have a lot of positive things, a good thing that we can offer. We can have to say to other Muslims around the world. Even though we are not perfect, there are some problems in our own communities, but generally speaking, that Indonesian Muslims are very tolerant, very democratic, and very open-minded. So we can live together peacefully with a different ethnicity and different religious background. And probably this is the things that we can share to other Muslim countries. For a long time, they have a very long problems, internal communal conflict among different sects in their communities. You can learn from Pakistan, from other Muslim countries which have their own internal problem. But Indonesia, although we have differences, but we have to be proud that we have a beautiful life living together with multi-religious and multi-ethnics. And that's the thing that we have to be proud. And we have to be, to be positive, and we have to promote our own Islam.
Oh, yeah, I think that's from us, and until next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.